Are you constantly feeling like you're behind the eight ball, stressed out, and like time is slipping away? You are in the right place because today we are going to look at time-saving project management hacks to help you structure your work, streamline communication, and dodge the most common time wasters. Because, let's be honest, project managers are busy. Between planning, meetings, updates, and putting up fires, much of your day can disappear before you even touch your to-do list. That's why today I'm sharing some of my favorite time-saving hacks. I'm Adriana Girdler, and I've taught these tricks in my online project management course to thousands of students who are now building successful projects from start to finish. What I've shown them is that good project managers don't just get things done, they know how to focus their time and energy where it matters most. And these hacks will help you do just that. You're not here to talk about gimmicky stuff though. I'm here to focus on project management hacks aimed at reducing your stress and making your life easier as a project manager. And now, let's get to it. My first tip, start with structure. How does structure save you time in project management? This is what I've learned, and if you want to save time on a project, you need to start by slowing down. I know this sounds like counterintuitive, but trust me, racing into execution without a clear setup is the fastest way to create chaos, confusion, and believe you me, weeks of rework, which all leads to wasted time. Instead, start with structure. So this is what I mean. In the beginning stages of your project, that means creating and getting buy-in to two key documents, a scope statement and a priority matrix. These are your first lines of defense against misaligned expectations and, believe me, surprise requests that will come, which will always impact timing because when you clearly define what's in and out of scope and what matters most to your stakeholders, you lay the groundwork for faster decision-making, smoother approvals, and fewer last-minute detours. Then, when you move into planning, you build on that foundation by drafting a project charter, breaking down major deliverables, and launching your steering committee. These steps don't just create alignment, they create the clarity you need to ensure understanding of the major milestones and deliverables. Let me tell you, this is a huge, huge time saver and something you want to do. Then, when you have your kickoff meeting, you get the opportunity to pull the team together, walk through the charter, and co-create your WBS action plan. You're not just assigning tasks when you do that. You're building ownership and accountability. And this is going to help the team out immensely. They're far more likely to stick to the plan because they have the accountability because they built it. When people are accountable for their tasks, deadlines, they actually get met. And that's going to save you tons of time down the road. So yes, structure will take you time to build in the beginning, but the time you spend on it gives you something way more valuable in return. It lets you avoid all of the time-wasting problems that show up later in your project due to all those unclear scopes, lack of accountability, and unclear expectations. And this is what I stress constantly with my project management students. Set your project up right in the beginning, and you will thank yourself later. Tip 2 is use standardized project templates strategically. How can project management templates save you time, you're probably wondering? Well, honestly, templates are your best friend as a project manager, but only if you use them in the right way. I've seen too many people either reinvent the wheel on every project or blindly fill out templates without really thinking about what they're trying to do. The goal of a really good template isn't just to do a checkbox activity, it's to save you time while creating clarity for your team and stakeholders. So for example, instead of writing a project charter from scratch every time, use a structured template that prompts you to really think through the essentials. What's the goal? Who are the key stakeholders? What assumptions do we have? Risks, and what's our deliverable? A clear charter means fewer misunderstandings down the road and fewer meetings to re-explain things. The same goes for your scope statement, your priority matrix, and WBS. When you have templates that guide your thinking, you're less likely to forget critical steps or miss important details. And when those templates get shared and signed off by stakeholders, you just saved yourself weeks of scope confusion and backtracking. But be careful, because it's not just about downloading templates. It's about knowing how to actually use the templates strategically. So whichever template you use, don't just fill them out. Make sure you understand how to use them from a strategic perspective. In my course, for instance, I include downloadable templates for every stage of the project lifecycle. But more importantly, I teach my students how to use them with strategy in mind. Because when you understand why each tool exists and how to adapt it for a unique project, you save time, you reduce friction, and you run smoother projects from the very start. Before we dive into more time savers, I've got something for you you will not want to miss. Have you checked out my free webinar yet? If you've ever felt stuck or overwhelmed mid-project, well, chances are it's because some key steps were skipped right at the beginning. In this training, I'm going to walk you through exactly how to set up your project up right for success from day one, which is going to save you tons of time. The link is below. Don't wait to check it out. It's free, and it may just be the game changer you need. Tip 3, don't ignore red flags on projects. A big time waster in project management is avoiding red flags like tough conversations. Ignoring early signs of conflict or poor performance doesn't make them go away, I promise you. It only makes them worse, which almost always means you're spending more time cleaning up the fallout later. Maybe a team member keeps missing deadlines, or maybe two stakeholders, well, they're clearly not aligned, but no one's addressing it. Or maybe a task owner seems unclear on their role, but you're hoping they'll figure it out on their own. These are the kind of red flags that seem small at first, but end up quietly wasting all kinds of time, and worse yet, eventually derailing projects down the road. What's the time-saving hack here? Well, it's to step in early and communicate directly, respectfully, and clearly. Lean into your soft skills like active listening and empathy to get to the root of the issues. Don't forget to stay neutral, document what's agreed on, and focus on aligning everyone to their goals of the project. When you create a culture of accountability and open dialogue on your project, your team starts solving problems faster because, well, they know you won't let issues fester. You're setting the tone that is of high trust, high performance, and let's be honest, it's way easier to have a 10-minute conversation today than to spend 2 weeks unraveling a misunderstanding later. Wouldn't you agree? Tip 4, effective project meetings. How can you really streamline your project management meetings? Well, meeting fatigue actually is real, and when they're not run optimally, they can waste time and kill productivity. I've seen organizations get stuck in a cycle of meetings about the work without actually making progress on the work. So here's how I keep my meetings lean and mean and very effective. First of all, don't default to a 60-minute meeting. Use the 30-60-90 rule to protect your calendar. Now, that means this: 30 minutes for quick one-on-ones, 60 minutes for standard meeting agendas, and 90 minutes, because yes, you will need 90 minutes on occasion, when you need to go into a deeper dive into a problem, get some resolution, or some idea generation. Second, be brutal about what needs to be a meeting and what can be an email. Cancel or combine where you can, and always have a tight agenda and a clear purpose. Every meeting should answer 2 important questions. What are we here to accomplish? And more importantly, who needs to do what's next? And here's the part most people don't even realize, and this is a big time-saving shortcut. Don't try to capture everything that's said in your meeting. This has no value. All you need to capture are the actionable steps, responsibility, and due dates. This one tiny habit ensures that everyone in the meeting walks out knowing what they need to do and, more importantly, when. And that will save you from having to chase them down later on. Tip 5, be proactive, not reactive. How can you boost your own productivity on projects? Well, let's talk about you for a second, right? Not the team, not the stakeholders, not the project, you. Because how you manage your own time and energy directly impacts how well your project runs. And most project managers I know, they're drowning in meetings, reacting to email pings, and juggling so many balls that they're bound to drop one eventually. So what do people do? They multitask, thinking it's going to help. But let me tell you, no. Multitasking is not your friend. It may feel productive in the moment, but research from MIT shows that office workers switching tasks every 3 minutes, and once interrupted, it can nearly take half an hour for them to return focus to their original task. What works instead is single tasking. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, you block off time in your calendar to focus on one thing at a time, whether it's reviewing the schedule, prepping for a meeting, or writing that stakeholder update. You will get through it faster and do it better. Now, next, I want you to batch your communications. Don't let your inbox drive your day, okay? Instead of constantly checking emails or messages, set 2 or 3 times during your day when you are going to deal with them all at once. It's a simple habit that will save you hours of scattered attention. And if your calendar's packed to the edges, try a power hour. Just 1 hour where you go offline, mute notifications, and give yourself space to do deep, focused work. Even once a day, this habit helps you stay ahead of the chaos instead of always playing catch up. The key here is being proactive, not reactive, because when you carve out space to think, to plan, to prioritize, you're not just saving time, you're protecting your ability to lead effectively. Tip 6 is clearly communicate expectations. Why does clearly communicating expectations save time in project management? Well, if you've ever had a task fall through the cracks on your project, chances are it's because ownership wasn't clear or because communication wasn't consistent. One of the biggest time wasters in project management is chasing people down. Yes, trying to figure out who's doing what or cleaning up after missed handoffs. That's why clear communication is critical to set up immediately and with clear expectations. So how do you do that? Well, you first clarify ownership. Every task needs a single named owner. Don't use generic statements like we'll handle it later or the team will do this. Use names in your documentation. Your work breakdown structure action plan is a perfect place to track this. It should clearly show who owns what, along with due dates and the current status for each of those items. Now, second, set a predictable communication rhythm, like a quick weekly or even daily 5-minute check-in, just to keep your team aligned on expectations and keeping your finger on the pulse. When your team knows exactly what they're responsible for, well, then they're going to report on the things that you need to know of, and everything's just going to move faster. You're going to prevent fire drills, you're going to reduce the confusion, and you're going to create a smoother, more streamlined project flow. Tip 7, plan for risk. Okay, how does planning for risk save time on projects? Well, you may not think of it as time-saving hack, but it absolutely is, because here's the reality. Projects rarely go exactly as planned. A key team member might leave, a stakeholder could change their mind, or a critical dependency might slip. And when you don't have a plan for what to do when those things happen, you lose valuable time scrambling for a solution. That's why you need a simple but effective risk management plan. When a risk shows up and you have a plan in place, you'll definitely think of it as a time-saving shortcut, believe me. Now, how do you do that? Well, you want to start by identifying your top risks, ideally in the planning stage. Then for each risk, you want to define what would trigger it, what the mitigation plan is, who's responsible for managing it, and put all of this in a shared risk register. And don't just set it and forget it. Schedule a recurring reminder to review and update your register with your team. I add it to my team's standard agenda. This actually keeps risk top of mind, visible, and manageable, rather than lurking in the background waiting for it to explode. You can't prevent every risk, but you can control how prepared you are. And being prepared is the ultimate time saver when things go sideways. Last tip, the ultimate time-saving mindset. At the end of the day, the best time-saving strategy isn't a tool or a template. It's having a mindset of flexibility. So what does that mean? It's about keeping your project priorities front and center and being ready to adapt when all those priorities shift. Sometimes that means clearing your calendar and recalibrating your to-do list. Other times it may mean stepping back from the chaos and asking, okay, what's changed and what matters most right now? Now, to be clear, being flexible doesn't mean being reactive. It means being intentional. When you're crystal clear on what truly matters for your project, you can make smarter decisions about how you spend your time, what you say yes to, and what you delegate, and what you let go. Too many project managers get stuck reacting to every fire, every request, every update. But when you lead with purpose, aligning your actions with your project's strategic goals, you create calm in the chaos. You communicate with clarity, and your team starts to reflect that same focus. So here's one final hack. Don't just run the project, lead it. When you bring calm, clarity, and control to the table, you save more time than any shortcut ever could. Well, we've covered all kinds of time-saving shortcuts that you can use right away on your projects. And I hope you found some of them useful. If you want support putting these strategies into action, that's exactly what my Slay Project Management course does. It gives you the step-by-step structure, the real-world tools, and the templates you need to run smoother, faster, more effective projects. My course isn't just textbook theory. It's built from 2 decades of hands-on project experience, and it helps thousands of professionals become more confident, capable project leaders. I'll place the link below this video. Watch this series next. It's packed with practical productivity tips and efficiency insights to help you level up fast. Don't forget to subscribe, and if you found this video helpful, I'd be grateful if you gave this video a thumbs up. See you at the next video.